Oh yeah. He's literally telling us whenever he asks her out that night that she wants to meet with him. And he's like,
Yeah, he's lusting like crazy.
oh, like fucking crazy.
Remember when he's...
Oh my
Yes.
Shut up and welcome to episode 5 of The List, a conversational improv game. Each of our panel have picked from the hat. They have 5 topics or phrases in their hands. I will begin the opening topic. As you use the topics in your hand that you try to squeeze into the conversation wherever you can, somebody else can say, that's on your list. And if they're right, they get a point. You can bluff and try to change the conversation with something else. And if somebody says that's on your list and you bluffed them, you get a point. So you've been listed, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, you've been listening.
You get it?
That's the goal.
The important part there, Eric and Jack, is that the conversation's going on the topic that I bring up, and you try to bring that stuff into the conversation.
Oh, okay.
And you want it to go off on tangents. You want to build it out as far as it can go.
Okay.
Right? All right. Today is, I guess, what we're going to call our Halloween episode.
Creepy.
spooky, scary.
We are going into the paranormal, haunted stuff, and etc. like that. I'm beginning the question. What is your idea of an exciting paranormal experience?
Doing a ghost would be pretty exciting.
Well, like in Ghostbusters when the ghost gave him a blowjob.
Exactly. I mean, that's my idea.
I don't know.
I remember that part.
I don't either.
Oh, yeah,
Remember when like
definitely.
you,
No, it happened.
Yeah, it happened. Like
Really?
you know,
Oh, yeah.
Which Ghostbusters?
the first one, like
The X-rated version.
when he's in
No, the
when
normal
he's.
version.
I think it was a dream though. It was a dream, right?
Oh, that's
well,
okay.
I think...
Oh, dreaming about go. Yeah, sure, everyone.
It turns out he woke up, right?
Right,
But-
yeah.
But the idea, I think, is that there was something going on, right? Because it was all the ghosts were going crazy at that time anyway.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe he did get a blowjob from a ghost.
Right. There definitely was an implication.
Could you even
Ghost-
feel that though?
Yeah, can't ghosts like go
don't
through
think that would-
walls and
It
stuff?
depends
so,
on what kind of ghost we're talking
Yeah, it
about.
wouldn't be a very good
you know?
blowjob.
Well, like
Yeah,
specters.
But if it was
specters
in
are
a
scary
dream,
though.
maybe the ghost used the dream world.
Some people are
apparition.
probably
Because in
into
a
that.
dream,
you know?
Maybe
you can
like
feel
having a
stuff that
skeleton
wouldn't be
face
real.
Hot,
creature.
spooky to me.
All right, so we're going with the dream
Say
world on
boo.
this then.
I'm just speculating that he did wake up from a dream and then the movie
okay, I got you.
moved on,
That does
so-
happen sometimes in dreams.
Sound like
Ooh,
you're in
wow.
trouble.
You should lose points for that.
Yeah, can we have
Seriously.
negative points now?
all right.
Wait. What if it's a ghost calling him?
Well, then we can get their opinion on this whole blowjob
Long
matter.
distance.
Seriously.
Yeah, but I have like a.
Not long distance.
I
That was
can't.
funny.
I don't think I would like having sex with a ghost because I mean, like, I have an irrational fear of
Hope
ghosts.
the ghost
first of
was
all,
calling Colette.
Irrational,
what if it was a
I think,
really
is
hot
incorrect.
ghost?
Irrational fear is not. It's a rational.
it's
fear.
very rational fear. Thank you.
Why would you say irrational?
Because people keep saying it's irrational.
Well,
I saw a ghost
the only
before.
people who say it's irrational is that the belief in ghosts might be irrational. But as long as you believe in ghosts, then a fear of them is perfectly rational.
I used to not believe in ghosts, but then I was still scared of ghosts, and I'm all like, why would I be scared of something that doesn't exist?
But now do you
So yes, because I'm scared of them.
Well, if it's at nighttime and you were alone, then you might be afraid.
I feel like a ghost whispered in my ear when I was a kid. And I have
What
this
did they
very
say?
vivid.
What did
I
he
don't
say?
remember. Go to sleep or something. You know, classic ghost scary stuff.
Yeah, you know.
I mean, I actually lived in a house when I was very young. I was like 7 or 8 in Puerto Rico. And
That's on your list.
no,
Oh.
What do I get a minus? for
Nice
that?
try though.
Thank
nice
you, thank
try.
you. That sounded like bullshit.
yeah, no, this is a true story. This is literally a true story. My mom got a job in Puerto Rico, and we moved out there, and this place was available to buy, right? And it was a really good price, so she bought it. And we moved in, and she was told at the time that there were weird things going on in the house. And she said, whatever, I'm a scientist. I don't believe in that stuff, so whatever, I'll take it. It's a great price, right? So she bought the house, we move in.
Oh, you bought the
Oh yeah, mom bought the house. So we
Good
move
job,
in,
Mom.
and later, like years later, I discovered that the story behind the house, right, which is that this guy who worked at the same company, she was hired to replace him because he passed away, and he had built this house. And it wasn't complete, right? And went with his family to the beach one day, and his son started drowning, and he goes out and saves him, and his son was like dying on the beach, and the ambulance comes, and they both get in the ambulance, and he's like saying, you know, take me, don't let him die, praying that sort of thing. And then when they get to the hospital, he's dead, and the kid survives.
Wow.
So then the widow and the kids are in the house for like 3 months, and weird things are happening in the house. So they just leave and decide to sell it, and sell it really cheap. So my mom apparently got this story and decided, yeah, whatever. That's a great price. It's a nice house. I'll take it. We'll finish building it, because it wasn't complete. Like, there wasn't carpet. There were some walls weren't done. Like, he was building it by hand himself. And so the moment, like within, I don't know, I'd say a month of moving in, every single night you would hear and see a car coming to the driveway, and you'd go and look, and there was nothing there. You'd hear cooking and smell cooking in the kitchen, and you'd walk in, and there was nothing there. Every single painting and every single picture on every single wall came down and was on the floor every single
No,
night.
I'm out of there.
Well, every
I'm out of
Every
there.
night.
all
Must have been the wind.
All the portraits
Yeah.
came down.
Every
Oh, that's
one
just
of
the
them.
wind.
Put them up.
We
Yeah,
did.
the wind's
You
car.
can't. Did you put them up?
With nails and everything,
No.
bro.
So your mom took this guy's job and his house?
It gets better.
I can
right?
see why he
The-
was
Wow.
pissed.
We would get the doorbell would ring, knocking on the door at 2, 3 a.m.
Oh, my
You go open the door, nobody's there.
Oh, that's creepy.
Yeah, the neighbor had a dog, right, that would bark every time a car would come in, and the dog would bark. The lights were there. You'd go and look, nobody there.
See, this is why my dog sleeps in my room with me. Because when I hear him barking, I'm all like, and I see
ghost.
nothing there.
Yeah,
You're like,
I mean
"Fuck 'em
it's
out."
Yeah, I'm
Must
out.
be a ghost.
looking back on it now, it's a classic poltergeist situation, right? The guy had an incomplete something, right? Passed away suddenly and unexpectedly, and now just was not happy with being dead or whatever, and you know, just harassing the living as much as
How
possible.
long did you live there?
Oh, my mother came up with explanations for every single odd thing that happened for 2.5 years.
And you were a young kid.
Wow.
You
I was 7.
Scientists.
So I had 2.5 years of like, and I had some pretty gnarly experiences. Like my most gnarly one was I was alone in the house, which happened a lot.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and there's one bathroom. It was a weird bathroom. You go in, and it kind of like there's a door, there's a wall, like you're going through a passage, right? And then there's a sink,
Crawl
with
space.
with a mirror, not a crawl space, but just I'm trying to lay out the floor plan. It's kind of this U, right? And so
Should we get the architect in here? Oh, wait.
right, and so like the toilet's over here, right? So I'm peeing, right? And I come out, and as I'm walking out and towards the door, and the mirror's right there, so I can see behind me, I feel a hand on my shoulder, and I'm again. Let me reiterate: I'm by myself, and I'm a child at this time, right? And there's a hand, and it is cold, like not regular cold, like frozen ice. Creepy cold, right? And it's on my hand, and it's there, and there's a mirror right there. So I naturally look in the mirror to see what's there, and there's this dude behind
No.
me
Get out of
No way.
with a top hat
What?
and a full black coat
It was
How
Abe
old was
Lincoln.
the house?
with a hand out.
here.
What's that?
He's
How old
well
was the
dressed.
house?
I mean, it was just getting built.
New,
so,
new.
So
Why-
it
Then
was
why
in
would there be
19
old-fashioned ghosts?
Did he have a top hat and a suit on when he saved his son?
Yeah, shouldn't
No,
you get a new
I
gun?
have no idea what. I have no idea what why that was what I saw, but that is what I saw, and it freaked me out because I'm alone in the house and I'm a child.
that's
There
how he was
shouldn't be
buried.
somebody touching me in the goddamn bathroom, right? None of these things are okay.
So did you,
What was
tell,
your
you tell
mom's
your friends?
explanation for that?
There was none for that.
Did you tell your friends?
Oh,
about
I
it?
never went back in that place.
It's your imagination.
And here's the best part. Here's the best part. In Puerto Rico, during Christmas, there is a tradition where every neighbor, they're very, very neighborly people, Puerto Ricans, and party centric. They love to party.
Yep,
So
yep,
they would
I've heard that.
go from neighbor to neighbor, right? And the party would get going, right? They go for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes in one house, boom, go to the next house, 20, 30 minutes. And we were the last house on the block. So we would get everybody at the end of the night, right? And we were kind of
then
ill prepared the first time this happened because we didn't know the tradition, right? So they show up and there's a big party, right? So we make it work, huge party. 3 people come out of that bathroom saying somebody touched them. White, ashen, and freaked out. So, yeah, and they left the house, never came back. And not the only thing that happened in that house. Like the other time, there was a time when we got the carpet, there's no carpet, right? So we had the carpet guy come out to put the carpet in. And he comes out and he puts the carpet out and he goes to get his tools and his tools are missing. So he goes from room to room, finds his tools, comes back, the carpet's rolled up. So he unrolls the carpet again and turns around and his tools are missing again. So he goes and he finds his tools in another room, comes back and the carpet's rolled up again.
He
At this
does
point,
not
he
want
grabs
fucking
his
carpet
tools,
in his house.
goes into this truck, drives to the nearest bar, calls my mom and says, I ain't going back. That shit's fucked up.
Okay.
There's fucked up shit going on.
To me, it sounds like this ghost was trying to tell you something.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you're
You think?
fucking up my house.
You think?
Please get out.
You think?
No carpet.
He's taking
No
down.
carpet.
He's taking down
No
the pictures
carpet.
because
He liked the hardwood floors, man. He worked hard on those things. He shined them up.
he's taking down the pictures because he's all like, this wall needs to come down.
That's right.
What's going on here, guys?
That's totally it,
Poor
dude.
guy.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
That's-
So, you know, I've never had anything like that again. That was the only time I've ever had any kind of experience like that. But yeah, it
Maybe
was
he
a
just
thing.
didn't like the color of the carpet, the design on the carpet.
I don't think he wanted anybody there.
Come on, dude. I need my Star Wars carpet.
You know, I actually went back like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years later, and the place was boarded up. All the, plants were taking over.
Oh, really? So nobody lives there anymore?
No, because word got out. Word totally got out that house was fucked up and haunted. And in Latin America, people believe that stuff way more than they do.
Oh,
here.
yeah, they
Like
do.
by a factor of 1,000.
Oh, okay.
And
Well,
so,
you gotta believe it after something like that
Well,
happens.
it's not
Yeah.
it's not the people's fault. I mean, like the parents tell the kids ghost stories so
Yes,
they won't do
all
bad
the
things.
time, yeah.
Like the Llorona,
No, yeah.
the Chupacabra, all these
Absolutely.
things that the parents
Absolutely.
tell. I mean, I grew up in a Latin household, so
I'm Chilean, so,
Cucuy.
right. Yeah.
You can't go over there.
Yeah.
The Cucuy is over there.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
people would rather be homeless than live in that house? I'm
Yes.
surprised. That is a totally different culture.
Absolutely.
There's like
Absolutely.
there's a house in Hollywood. It's right in the famous people's celebrities, Jerry Lewis, Dean Martin's house,
Yeah.
in that little
Yeah,
hill
yeah,
area of Hollywood, Laurel Canyon.
Yeah, yeah.
And Frank Sinatra's house has been vacant and unoccupied for years. Mick Jagger lived there for a little while, but I mean, a really nice house, an awesome neighborhood, pool and everything. And you drive
Who's
by.
it belong to? Does it still belong
It's
to
like
the
some developer or
Sinatra's
it was under
estate?
construction and boarded up and fenced in. No one, unoccupied, really multi-million-dollar home.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel
Nobody
like there would
wants
be-
to live there.
I feel like the ghost of Frank Sinatra is
Yeah,
probably
that
pretty
would've-
badass.
That wouldn't be too bad. Like
He's
hearing
like
not a-
singing,
singing to sleep at night.
right? Like you're just like, oh, this is nice. It's not creepy lullabies.
And the house, any house like that would be great in the daytime, but at nighttime,
Yeah,
I
I,
wouldn't
mean,
want
he was
anywhere
he was a
near
badass dude in real life, so his ghost has got to be just.
Why didn't
I wouldn't
Frank
wanna fuck
Sinatra
with it.
finish? That has him here. Like,
What
you know,
didn't
like
he
I'm a
finish?
ghost now, just walking around my house. No one wants to live with me. I'm sad.
See, I
seems
get
like
the
it's a lot of fun to
impression.
be ghosts.
I get the impression that not everybody becomes ghosts. Like the only people or the only things that become ghosts are if something traumatic happens, it's unexpected. Like you don't transition well, right?
Right.
But the majority of folks that pass on transition to something else, and that's
But there's also like different types of ghosts depending on how. Like,
seems that way.
if you die like because of an angry reason, then you're
Right.
probably gonna become a poltergeist.
Sure.
Than you would like just a wandering spirit.
Right.
And there are those that argue
Wandering
that there
gypsy.
are non-human entities when it comes to ghosts.
Demonology.
Yeah, demons.
yes.
and
So what makes you a
and
Slimer?
Demonic possession. among-
I want to know what you got to do to be a Slimer.
You just suck.
A
at
slimy
life.
guy.
So I've seen a ghost once before. I was 4 years old, and we lived in it was apartment complexes, and so it wasn't like some kind of cool old house or anything. But my story is significantly less cool than yours. I'm gonna just go ahead and preface that. But yeah, all I remember is I was 4 years old and I was asleep. And all of a sudden I woke up and I sat up in bed and there was a woman standing like at the end of my bed by the window. And I just like stared at her for a minute because I was like, what the fuck? And then all of a sudden she like turned around so that her back was to the window and just like went backwards outside of it. And I
Really?
screamed so loud. And my mom came running in, and my dad came running in, and he had a baseball bat with him, and he was like convinced like someone was in my room. And I was like, "It was a ghost! It was!" And my mom was like, "Mackenzie, it was just the lights from the fountain." I
How
was
old
like,
were you?
"Fuck, no, it wasn't."
How old were you? 4, you
I
said?
was 4,
Yeah.
and I still okay.
I don't think they believed you.
They totally did not. They still don't. But like I am, and I can see it so vividly in my mind, and like
Still?
oh my yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I disagree. I think your story's pretty cool.
It's not the whole history. That was the only
I
time I
really
saw
liked
her. We left, like, we moved out shortly after that because I think my mom kind of believed me though because she was like, I think we should move.
He might have seen something too.
Maybe. She
Totally.
just never told me.
Totally.
But
See, now you had a mother that was, Johnny on the spot.
my mom's just
Right?
like, she
My
gets
mom was
super
a
freaked out.
stubborn, like.
Well, you
no,
guys got a really good deal.
scientific-
You got a great deal on the house. So.
It was a great deal until we couldn't sell it anymore.
Because no one would.
Oh,
Okay,
the
yeah.
word got out before you sold it?
Fuck.
It was all the flies and the blood on
Wait,
the
so your
walls.
mom still owns the house?
Technically, yes.
As far as I know.
No.
Oh, that's cool. You can
So
make it
wait,
like
I
a summer
say-
home.
And my mom's passed away, so technically it's mine at this point. But I don't have any interest
What if
in
you
it
make it a haunted
whatsoever.
house?
I'm pretty sure.
Everyone needs to get their ghost hunting gear, and we need to head out there.
Right, get
you know
your
what I should
salt,
do? I
get
should
your
contact,
other
like,
I'm
the
with
ghost
that.
hunting stuff.
The ghost
Yeah.
hunting guys,
Let's-
there's a bunch of them out
Roger
there.
said it too. Let's get the ghost hunting guys. Let's get the ghost hunting gear. I want the
Let's
little
get all of our
Yeah, they-
gear.
TV screen on my wrist.
They probably already know about
Oh,
it.
you're talking high tech shit. I was thinking like salt. Some
Yeah,
holy
salt.
water.
So here's the question: how do you catch a
Sage.
ghost? Because we could just go catch them, like they do in Ghostbusters. Put them in the cold storage.
Yeah, what do you
No,
use to
that's
bait?
so mean.
You see,
what you
That's
do-
so mean.
No, okay.
For some reason,
Cardboard
I'm
box
sorry.
propped
That's a bad way
open,
to-
with a string that you pull.
And like a little thing that says ghost food. So that
Right,
they
exactly.
Yeah, what do they eat?
well, they just
I want the pentagram and the
ghost
circle of
food,
salt.
ghost
With the
hamburgers.
magnesium gunpowder around it, that as they go into it, you light it.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
we
Stuck in the
just
salt
gotta
forever.
find some really powerful
What is that?
shamans to go out there and clear the space.
Well, apparently, like one way to like keep a ghost put, that one of the most common ways to do it is salt. For some reason, ghosts can't pass salt.
That's right.
They're
they
like
can't even go past
snails.
it?
No,
Yeah, so you make a circle. Ghosts around.
Wherever you go.
And you just
salt.
can't leave the salt circle, the circle.
You
though.
effectively trap yourself.
yeah, you do.
Talk about
the
it,
ghost
right?
food,
It's
get
the
you,
ghost.
get the beer.
So-
Every sword
everything
has
else
two
first.
sides, right?
Yeah.
There's the
So
plus.
no
and the
ghosts,
negative.
but you're stuck in that little salt
All you gotta
circle.
do is make a salt trail to the fridge and
Oh,
back to
yeah,
the
there you
couch.
go.
You're good.
I say it must be a diet thing. It's like ghosts have figured it out. It's like, oh, there's too much salt in our diets. And that's why
That's
we
how
can't
I
get through
died,
the
damn
gates,
it.
man. We're stuck here on this planet because I ate too much salt. No more salt. Oh, there's more salt. I'm stuck.
I'm not even touching that stuff.
Nasty.
Maybe it dries them out. Maybe they need a little moisture.
Yeah,
Oh.
maybe.
To kill slugs. You
Yeah,
keep
it kills-
them away with
it-
salt too,
totally,
right?
totally.
Put salt on slugs.
Maybe
and
ghosts are
Oh,
slugs.
you do more than keep them away.
Did they miss the whole? We just were talking about how
Violent death.
ghosts
We were
are
having a
snails.
Yes,
Yeah,
slugs.
All right, the moisture thing. Then, how do you explain ghost ships? The Flying Dutchman. They have lots of moisture. They're out.
Oh, they're
there.
also surrounded by salt water.
How about
They have salt water.
red-eyed scary children count?
and water.
Well, if a priest went to the
Red-eyed
beach
scary
and
children.
blessed the entire ocean, doesn't it become holy water?
No,
No, that's not how it
We'll
works.
go
it
back to
doesn't.
that.
He doesn't have that far of a reach.
What if
Maybe
you
the
get
salt is
every
diluted
priest?
enough?
It's like
So
the
it doesn't
Wi-Fi. Like Wi-Fi doesn't go all the way. Like he just has like a certain.
Radius.
He's got to
radius,
get a better
exactly.
holy coverage.
range.
It would be unfair. Like it'd just be super unfair if the priest would just go, you know what, fuck it, I bless all the water.
Right,
And the ghost is like,
'cause-
what the fuck?
Because
Like,
we got to
that's-
be fair to ghosts.
Exactly.
We gotta be fair to everybody else.
Right.
Ghosts
Now
have rights.
ghosts-
too,
Ghosts
yeah.
have rights too.
This is the civil rights issue of our generation.
If you had like a tanker of water, and you had a priest, the priest could technically bless the entire tanker of water.
Sure.
I don't know if he could do the whole ocean though.
No, you can do the
That
whole.
would be
ocean.
too much.
What about just a sea or a lake?
Yeah,
You
could do a
blast
small
the
lake.
ghost with the holy water.
I think you would have to have a contained area of water.
Yeah, it needs to be a
Like he's got to see
reasonable
the
amount.
other end.
Like there
Yeah,
has
something
to be-
like
Yeah,
that.
there's
yes.
it needs to be a finite amount.
and
Start,
it needs
finish.
to be a finite amount,
yeah.
right? Because you're
Like a
cleansing
pool.
it with God's power. And you can't do that just willy nilly on anything. Like,
Like,
Yeah.
bless
awesome.
this,
Like
I
that.
bless
Yeah,
that,
guys,
I bless
that's-
all of it.
Oh, you know what?
You'll lose your power if you try to do that. It's a
Yeah.
total
I think-
corruption of the.
I actually
power.
bring this up to my mom once, and she said a priest can't even bless the ocean if they wanted to because it's too dirty. Apparently.
Oh.
Because all those fish are
Right.
fucking in it.
Exactly.
Fish
Fish
are
are
followers of
sinners.
Satan.
prostitution.
Fish are all
I mean,
sinners.
look at them. They're not even animals.
They
got
don't go to
scales
church.
and Weird.
They don't go to, yeah, exactly. They don't go to church.
Are there ghost fish?
So if they can bless a pool,
Fish in church.
All right, wait. A real question just got asked.
Wait, what happened?
Are there ghost fish?
Oh,
Because there's salt in that water.
Oh,
I mean, do animals create ghosts when they
right.
die?
That's a great question. I would say maybe.
What about like the smallest forms of life? Single-celled organisms. Do they create single-celled ghosts?
according to
Where's
Jaws
the cutoff?
Revenge, the original Jaws soul possessed the body of another shark.
But is that
If you've
just
ever
like,
watched that movie.
I haven't.
According to the Catholic religion, animals don't have souls. I don't believe that because my dog definitely has a soul
Yeah.
because he's a little nice guy.
Catholic religion, that's
He's
basically
never spoken
science
his
too.
life.
So.
No, he's a good boy.
He's a good
He's
boy.
a good boy. Yeah, I
Dogs
agree.
definitely have souls, but I don't know about cats.
Cats are lovely. Are you kidding me?
I
love
think there are
cats.
some cats
lovely,
that
but they're
don't, just like there
soulless.
are some people that don't.
Are you talking about gingers?
Yeah.
Oh,
Just kidding.
are you though? Are
As far as
you?
you know.
That laugh says no.
I wanted to know about blessing the pool of water. Like, can you throw a pool party and come up with some kind of ghostly swimsuit, and then the ghosts put it on and they
Oh
jump in?
fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
Ghost-
If
We
a
just
ghost
trapped
is
some
stupid
ghosts,
enough-
man.
If a ghost is stupid enough to be like, oh, you're having a pool party? Sure, I'll come.
That's the thing I
Cannonball.
never did in life. That's what I
Yeah.
want to do.
And then cannonball straight into some holy water. You know what?
He's
Yeah,
gone. He's out of here.
yeah, that's fair.
That's a dumbass ghost, though.
Exactly.
That's a dumb ghost.
He,
I mean,
he kinda
ghosts are
deserves-
ghosts.
Ghosts
People
should just be automatically
have to
really
outsmart
smart, I would
those.
think. 'cause,
What happens
you know,
It depends on how new they are, because if they've been around for a while, sure, I'm sure they've got some knowledge under their belt. But when maybe he's only been dead like a week, and like he's
There
still
are
like a
less
new
than
ghost.
He's a rookie
experienced
ghost?
He's a rookie ghost. He doesn't know all the rules.
he hasn't earned his ghost stripes. Okay, I see what you mean.
You know, it's
What's that?
really weird for me to think about modern ghosts. Like
I know,
a
that's what I'm
2017
saying. I think they're
ghost.
smart because they
Yeah.
should learn all the stuff that
I
you
wonder
know that
if
they
ghosts
screwed
have
up
to be
on.
dead for like a certain amount of time, or like if a person has to be dead for a certain amount of time before they can become a ghost. Because yeah, like you were saying, like
Right.
have you ever seen like a modern ghost, like one sitting there on his like iPhone or something?
Yeah.
Right, his ghostly iPhone going
Thank
on his
God,
ghost
no.
apps.
Then you'd have to have a ghost of an iPhone.
ghosting
too.
his
Do you
Tinder
think they have
dates.
ghost Tinder?
Yeah, but no one talks to each other.
On that subject, what about like
Burnt out.
clothes? How can a ghost wear clothes? Do
So-
clothes die?
No, so the clothes
ghost
the
clothes?
clothes you die in.
Is the
Yeah,
clothes
they-
you wear.
The style that you.
That's why you always.
But
gotta
it's
dress
just an
like you're ready to
ethereal
die.
apparition of those clothes.
It's like the
just-
Matrix, right? Whatever mental image you have of yourself, that's what you're projecting from the astral world to this world. So that's why you see them as shimmering, whatever's, is because you're just seeing a mental projection of what
we're-
they
That makes
view
sense.
themselves as.
Although most people are like buried in a suit or something nice, so they're dressed formally, and we don't see that many formally
the
I don't
dressed
clothes
think
that you
I don't
died
think,
in.
I don't
Because
think
the
those,
they
ghosts
don't die
died
in
in.
the suits.
Yeah, they're not like, hey,
Oh, yeah.
It
I'm
has to
gonna
be
kill
what
you.
they're
Let's
what
put
they've
on your
died
suit.
in.
Yeah,
That's
right.
whatever you
not
were
what they're
wearing,
buried
you
in.
died.
the ghost I saw was definitely not in
Not
what
well,
he died in.
not well dressed.
Maybe that's what he projected, or maybe there
That's
was
what I think.
two ghosts.
I think
in the
that's
house.
I think he took that form just to scare me. quite frankly.
He's like, you know what would be really funny?
Sounds like it
Is
worked.
if I was wearing a top
I could have been there in my
Let me go to
bathing
my
suit.
ghost
That might have
closet
scared
and
me
get
more,
my
but he
ghost
thought
suit
that
and top hat.
projection of the tall hat and the long suit and the dark suit, like, or maybe that was my own projection of what
maybe
scares
you
me,
see
right?
what you
And that's what I projected onto there.
A top hat,
Who
maybe
knows
he was
which way it goes,
Getting
but I
very
can tell you it
existential
did
here.
work. It scared the living hell out of
Maybe
me.
he was a
'cause, like,
magician. Why
I
would
can
he
tell
have a
you
top
after
hat?
that happened, I left that bathroom, and because I was alone and nobody was in the house, went straight to my room, under my bed, into my bed, under the sheets, and just stayed there till Mom got home.
Yeah, it seems like people always see what scares them the most. I mean, you always hear about Confederate ghosts, but you never hear about Union ghosts, right?
I don't know. A lot of ghosts have been seen at Gettysburg, for instance.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
I want to say that some Union ghosts
Okay,
have been
yeah.
spotted.
I
just
think
can't
there
tell.
are. I think there are.
Because it's all white.
You're right. So
Yeah.
gray uniform, blue uniform. Who's to tell?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if you die, like, okay, so my question is, like, if you die and, like, you're shot or, like, your arm's cut off and you have, like, a gaping wound just, like, on your arm
Oh,
or
yeah, do
somewhere.
you carry it into
Does
the
that-
Yeah,
afterlife
does
if
that
it
stay
goes?
with you? Or, like, if you're hit
I think
by
it does.
Well,
I mean,
yeah, if you're
according to
like,
the movies, at
like,
least.
what if you get, like, hit in the face?
Yeah, all that
Yeah,
shit.
have
And you just have, like, a giant,
Anything
like,
bad that happens to you, like that's how. I mean, based on movies I've seen,
Beetlejuice style.
exactly.
essentially facts. But yeah, it's everything that whatever happens to you, however you died. That's like what you look like when.
Oh,
you're
jeez,
a
remember
ghost.
in
What
The
if
Sixth
you're-
Sense, the kid that shot himself in the head by accident? There was that, like, gaping
Oh, yeah, yeah,
hole.
yeah.
Yeah,
Back
what,
in
what,
the-
what if you're like totally mangled at
Yep.
death? What if you're in a horrible car accident, for instance, and you're in several pieces? Are there ghosts of the pieces?
Of the arm.
Like, are there ghosts
This is my
arms?
ghost- this is my
like,
ghost
crawling
arm.
around.
In
It's a
Beetlejuice,
ghost
they were.
organs?
In
Oh,
Beetlejuice,
yeah.
they were.
It wouldn't be a ghost if you crudely put back together, like, your arms right there, and it's, like, obviously
an authority on the
severed,
matter,
but-
yeah.
Remember Beetlejuice, where that one dude was totally flattened and he had to be like carried around on a.
Yes.
Oh,
Say it one more time.
Yeah, I do
yeah.
remember that.
Yeah, and there was the other dude who was like cut in half, sitting on the couch.
Yeah, I think
That's some
Beetlejuice got it
purgatory
right.
punishment right there.
I like the guy with the shrunken head was always the one that freaked me out when I was
Yeah, that
a
was
kid.
gross.
How did his head get like that?
Because they shrunk it.
Yeah, he had the garb of an explorer on him, so one can only assume that his head was shrunken by some South American tribe.
But by our earlier theory, that means his head was shrunken before he died.
No, they wouldn't do that. No,
Don't you need a big old head for some time?
In reality, you have to cut the head off before
But
you
in
shrink
Beetlejuice,
it.
Yeah.
they don't
Well, I
have
always
it.
cut the head off before I shrink the head.
That's right. That's
Right,
right.
no,
It's
it's the only way to do it.
standard
Protocol.
I don't
procedure,
even know
That's
how
what my
you
wife
shrink the
does.
head without cutting it off.
Anyway.
Shrunken heads.
So long story short, I wouldn't fuck a ghost.
Oh, yeah, go roundabout. Yeah, I don't.
What if it was like a really hot ghost?
Oh,
What if it was
yeah.
Frank Sinatra ghost?
What if it was
Oh,
like the
wait, you
ghost
know
of
what?
Marilyn Monroe?
I might do that. I might do both of them at the same time.
A threesome with the ghosts of Frank Sinatra.
That's a
the right
book.
ghost, anything
That's
goes.
a podcast idea.
That's a what?
That's a podcast idea.
We'll do it.
Three-way with the ghost.
Ghost.
Three with the ghost.
Or
All right.
James.
Two ghosts
You
or
know, there
one,
was
one ghost?
ghost sex and poltergeist.
Two ghosts and you.
That girl got raped.
Yeah.
Wait, so you know how, like, okay, sorry, I'm
I
gonna
think
get...
I'd take one human over two ghosts.
Word.
Is this, like, the whole, like... You know how, like, there's,
Yeah,
like,
you
the
only get
thing and
one.
it's called, like, the devil's three-way?
Yeah,
you know?
that's two guys.
So is this a demon's three-way? Or, like...
Well, I don't know. Would it
what
still
you
be
call it? Because
devil's
it's two
three-way?
ghosts, like, because it's, like, a question of two ghosts or two humans, you know?
Can my ghost be like a centaur and a nymph?
Supposed to be whatever
Those
your
aren't
heart
sense.
is.
Whatever
Those
you want
aren't
it to be.
ghosts. Those aren't ghosts.
your
though.
fantasy.
I mean, are you talking?
What if it was a
I'm
ghost
talking
of
about a dead
centaur?
centaur and a dead nymph because we haven't seen them forever, so
That's
they're
still
all
a
dead.
ghost. Ghost rights, man.
What if a
Ghost
person
rights.
projected themselves as a centaur?
All
Because that's how they always
ghosts
felt.
Okay, but they're technically still not a centaur.
As long as they're dressed.
I was
Form
born
of
this
they
way.
died when they were
Hey, do you think centaurs have two hearts?
You can have as many hearts as you want.
They have
horse
two
body.
chests.
You can have as
And
with
They got two
imaginary
chests?
I think
creatures
they
can
have
do
three
anything you
Where would
want.
the third one go?
I say
It's
it
a
has
combination of
1,032 small hearts. It's got 1,032 small hearts, all in the left hoof.
Oh, of course. Yes.
They share a heart. Wouldn't
And-
they
and-
share a heart?
And an imaginary creature can have imaginary anything.
That's why there's hoof beats.
So why not go crazy with it? It's got 1,032 hearts in its left hoof. Its right hoof has 1,042 stomachs. It's
Yeah,
got
but
more
the bottom
stomachs
of the
than
horse,
hearts
the horse
because that
heart
makes
would
sense
be
to it.
there. And wouldn't
Fine,
he
it has 2 hearts.
like?
It's got 7 hearts.
He would need like a horse heart to live, right?
It technically, as an
Yeah,
imaginary
human heart
creature, can
couldn't
do.
pump
And
all
Maybe
it
it
can have
has,
no heart.
Yeah, it would
maybe
be
it
bigger.
has a horse heart in the human body and a human heart in the horse body.
That seems unnecessary, but okay.
They would both die, probably.
Centaurs are pretty crazy, though. Did you know there are no female centaurs, and they have to rape women to make more centaurs?
Nice.
But,
What is it?
So that's their excuse.
They're just not.
Is it a human?
well, they don't necessarily have to rape women. I mean, I'm sure there are some
I
women
guess
out
if they
there
were-
that would
Sorry,
be
guys, I
interested in
had to
having
do it.
sex with a centaur.
Hey,
Sorry, it's the only way I can
I know I have a
reproduce.
horse body, but you think you'd
Centaurmatch.com.
be up for it?
Okay, sex with a centaur or sex with a ghost?
Ghost.
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 Yeah. I don't.
Centaurs are scary.
bordering like way too much on bestiality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also depends on the
only
ghost.
half
Like, are you
the
getting
show.
it on with Slimer?
Nice.
Some of those pirate ghosts from the Flying Dutchman.
There's some.
I don't
No,
know.
I'm just kidding.
Some pirate.
You know.
That crab guy.
Crab guy? You mean Davy Jones?
He was an octopus.
But he
Oh,
also
from
had a
Pirates
crab
of the
claw. Yeah.
I thought they messed that up in that movie. It's like all those characters, and there were even some of my name the names right now. If Sam was here, he probably could. Davy Jones and his crew and stuff. It's like they were based on certain characters in history that were supposed to be pirate ghosts and whatnot. And like, no, the octopus head and all that. No, no.
I thought it was cool.
It was cool looking, yeah.
It probably
It was a
really
nice
sucked
concept,
for
yeah.
Will Turner's dad, though, who was just
gotta,
barnacles.
Yeah, he just had
Yeah.
a starfish and barnacles on him.
Like,
You,
he
you
really
gotta wait a long time before something cool
sucked.
grows
Right.
on you. Before you become like an angler fish, like that one guy, or a
I wanna be
hammerhead shark.
I want to be a shark guy. That would be awesome to be a shark
But
guy.
you gotta wonder how would that happen? Like, how do you transition
Like what we
from
were
a
talking
regular
about
person
in
to-
an earlier episode where you get bit by a radioactive shark. Remember?
Yeah.
That's how you become a shark man.
Yeah.
I feel like it's whatever killed them is what took to. But then that kind
How
of
does the
like
shark become
lost-
radioactive, though?
Because how do you die from barnacles and a starfish?
Yeah, exactly.
Lightning gets hit by
Gamma
lightning or
rays.
something?
Yeah, there's some
Gamma
kind of
rays.
what was it? Gamma
Right?
rays.
Like,
Where are those
like
gamma
let's say,
rays?
The
let's say
majority
you
of
have a
figure out how
gamma
this is
ray,
possible.
you have a gamma ray
Drown.
reactor that the government's trying to work on for some sort of weapon, and it leaks out radiation.
Oh,
and
into the ocean.
and the shark gets exposed to it, and that's what made the Hulk.
Can you imagine how hard it would be to beat a fucking radioactive shark? Like, sharks by themselves are already pretty
tough.
Okay,
pretty
but
difficult.
muscles.
I feel like people would be lining up just to get bit by the radioactive shark in hopes that it would work.
Okay, I got 3 things going
I
on. So
know
we
I'd
got
be in that
an uncle that
line.
died from radioactive shark kelp. That
Hey man, you can never underestimate the power of gamma rays.
Life lesson.
the ultimate gamma ray ghost
if
that
you're-
goes back to the apparel that you were talking about. The ghost we were in. That's the ghost that wears the Speedo.
What if you're bitten by a radioactive
I know it's not
ghost?
on my list. I just when you brought it up, I had to see a ghost in a Speedo, man.
That means they died in the Speedo, too. That's sad.
Wait, do you,
They were probably on
do you have
vacation or
pieces of paper
something.
too?
And
I
They're
only
like, I'm
have
gonna give it
2.
a try.
Snorkeling, you
and
know.
then they
And I've
die.
already used
Yeah.
one.
I was gonna
Damn it.
call you on
First
something
time,
earlier,
like-
but I wasn't sure if you had them or not.
There are 2 things that I
Lesson
think
learned.
are pretty scary that aren't just ghosts, and that is creepy clowns
yeah,
and
definitely.
scary children. Like
Well,
the red eyes.
scary
and-
children also goes into scary ghosts.
Well, children
That's
are pretty
true.
scary.
Children
No,
ghosts
because
are
it's
the
like
scariest
true.
ones.
Children of the Corn.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the twins
Yeah.
and the Shining.
Yeah.
Those were
Shining
Yeah.
twins.
Oh
are
my
really
god! So
scary.
I was babysitting the other day.
Malachi.
I was babysitting the other day, and it was like it was midnight, and there's this little girl that she had gone to sleep earlier, and she was passed out and everything, and there's a baby monitor like in the kitchen, and I thought she was asleep. I didn't even realize that there was a baby monitor because I was like, like she was being so quiet. So I'm sitting there, it's like midnight, she's been asleep for like 5 hours, and I'm like about to fall asleep on the couch, and all of a sudden I hear, like she starts going, twinkle, twinkle, and I just hear it like on the baby monitor, like echoing in the kitchen, and I like, the blood just drained from my face, and I got and I was like, oh my god.
Who was singing? The
First
little
when they're
kid?
singing.
It was creepy.
Who was singing?
The little
baby.
kid.
The little kid was singing?
Yeah, the little kid was singing. But like it didn't register in my head.
yeah.
Just
No,
because,
that's
like, I
creepy.
thought she was
Oh,
asleep.
you didn't even know the monitor was there.
No, I didn't even know the monitor was there. And so the mom came home,
That's
and I
the
was
best
like,
ghost story yet, right
yeah,
there.
and I was like,
Ghost in the
Not involving a
There's
real
ghost
ghost.
that goes twinkle twinkle.
That's scary as shit.
and the mom
Out
came
of
home.
tune.
And the mom came home, and I was like, honest to God, I was like, I think after this, I don't know if I could have children. Because just having that baby monitor and, like, just in the middle of the night, them start doing stuff like that. And she's like, oh my God. She's like, the first couple times, like, I didn't know what to do. I just sat in bed crying because I was like, this is it. This is the end. I was like, okay, cool. So it's not just me who had this fear that the child was going to come out and try to kill me.
Little kids are probably super scary ghosts because they're super scary in real life. Because I remember one time taking care of my nephew, and like I went out to go to the bathroom, and there he is, just standing there in the middle of the hallway in the dark as a silhouette, and I got so scared. Like I thought I was gonna die.
What was he doing?
He wanted to go to the bathroom. He was just standing there because he didn't want to wake me up. I guess.
So why didn't you just go and go to the bathroom? Was waiting for somebody else in there?
Nephew.
How old was he?
He was tiny. He was like 2.
Oh,
Kick his ass for scaring you.
That reminds me, why do so
yeah.
many ghost stories have to do with somebody going to like take a dump?
We're at our
Does
most
everybody
vulnerable
do-
when we're taking a dump.
There you go. That's a good reason.
I can't defend myself taking a crap.
So, no, with all that shit, with all the scary what was that? Like last year?
Yeah, it was last year.
People were
With all the
seeing them
creepy
everywhere.
clowns.
Clown in a white van.
I think I'd die.
I'm glad that's over.
I still have you guys seen It, the new one?
No, I haven't seen the new one yet.
I haven't either.
We
I
should
don't
make
know.
it
I thought Paranormal was one of the scariest movies I ever saw.
the
The Paranormal Activity.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
I was surprised it could scare me without seeing a monster.
See, to
'Cause I
me,
usually have to get like, you have to see this like
It was the end when the girl just
extra
goes.
normal thing.
yeah, no, to me, like scary, like Scream and stuff like that, where it's just like a person running around. I'm like, oh, whatever, that's fine. But once you throw the ghosts in there, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go now.
Because you can't really explain ghosts. Like they're not, you know what I mean? Like the killers, you can kind of explain. You're like, there's the motive. His girlfriend cheated on him. or
Yeah, and you're like,
whatever.
okay, sure.
Ghosts, it's like,
well, you can kill
don't
it. You can kill
fucking
them.
know.
You can kill a person. You
Yeah.
can't
I don't
kill
know.
a
You
ghost.
can't kill Jason Voorhees,
Yeah, he keeps coming back. He's all like,
Freddy Krueger,
not
and
dead.
Michael Myers.
Wait, no, what about?
But he's a
Jason
different
Goes to
person
Hell?
sometimes because
He
remember
died
in the
there.
first movie,
Yeah, but he
was
came back.
his mom.
Yeah, in a reboot.
And then later, he's not his mom.
I'll take your word for that.
I thought it was a reboot.
Wasn't Freddy versus Jason after that?
What?
I'm pretty sure it was Freddy versus Jason, and I
And
think
there was
that's
one
the
that was
original.
Annabelle?
So who won that? Did they battle it out? The two
I
guys.
think it was it was
I think it was Freddy in overtime.
yeah.
by a
Jason
field goal.
killed him, but then
I had
Freddy
money
did a
on
whole thing
Jason.
at the end. He was like, I'm not actually dead. Look,
Yeah, so neither of them died.
yeah, exactly. So it was a tie.
Of course, they'll never die because people still want to go see movies. They keep
Why don't they just like team up?
and then take on the world.
Yeah,
Because they kill people in very different ways.
that's excellent. They could like learn and like they could.
Yeah, but it's a very
Super
competitive
teams.
field, you see.
Super team.
Like, you can't just... Then Freddy gets the death that Jason wanted.
Yeah,
like,
they get jelly.
They go in on it together if they really
Yeah, they
want to.
got stats. So Freddy was the one you couldn't fall asleep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he was
If you
the one
fall
that
asleep,
invaded
you
your
can't-
dreams.
Jason's the one who kills
And I
you
would
because his
argue
mom tells him to.
that the first Nightmare on Elm Street was a fantastic movie.
It really was.
Like, it's a really well done movie. The acting, I enjoyed.
Johnny Depp's first movie.
I enjoyed every
his
single
first one.
Do you know what a
aspect.
good Johnny Depp movie is? I'm so sorry to
It's
interrupt.
quite right.
It's Sleepy Hollow.
That's right.
Oh, Sleepy Hollow.
Christopher Walken as the Headless Horseman. He doesn't have any lines, he just screams.
Was there a doll of Freddy Krueger in one of those nightmare movies? I think there was. In one of the dreams, there was a
Sounds
doll
like
of
something.
himself.
There was one
It's kind of
where
a
he
rip-off
made
on
a person
Child's
a
Play.
puppet.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Child's Play.
Oh, yeah. I remember in the third Nightmare on Elm Street, I used to be really into these movies. There was Freddy's briefly a marionette.
Yeah, and he makes the puppet with his muscle and is like super
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah, it was weird.
One of my favorite
Freddy's
paranormal
mom for that
crazes
one.
talking about that is you see it a lot on Craigslist and maybe eBay or whatever, is somebody will put a doll for sale
Oh, yeah, and they'll say
and
it's
they will
haunted.
say that it is a haunted doll.
Okay, I have a haunted doll story. So there was one time I was in middle school and my friend Shelly invited me to her house for a sleepover birthday party. And so I was like, yeah, sure, sounds fun. So I go to her house, and it's me and, like, all these other girls, and we're, like, just hanging out. And so we go in her room, and she has all of these, like, vintage dolls, like, on the wall. And I was already like, I don't know. And then she starts to tell us about how the dolls move sometimes. And, like, their heads turn. And
Nice.
they, like, stuff. And I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
That's
And
creepy.
and then, like, we, like, left the room, and we walked back in there, and there were, like, some, and their heads were turned. And I don't know, she probably walked in and did it while we weren't looking or something. But still, I was like, okay, I'm kind of not cool with this.
Maybe they
Okay.
had batteries
I can
or
tell-
something.
No, that was not it. But I was like, it's okay. I'll be cool, right? So then Shelly goes, guys, I have a surprise. I got, oh shit, what's it called? Oh,
Doll herpes.
She was like, I got a Ouija board. Let's pull that. And I went, fuck
Don't wanna
no.
Ouija board.
And I walked right outside and I called my mom.
A Ouija board in a room full of dolls?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's
No,
go.
and I
That's
walked
what happened.
outside.
And then we can cut ourselves.
I walked
Yeah.
right. I walked
Russian
outside.
roulette, here we go.
I called my mom. She had driven me like 30 minutes to get to this house, and like this was like 30 minutes later, so she had just made it home. And I was like, I
Come
need you to
and get
come
me
get me
right
now.
now.
And she was like, Mackenzie, are you kidding me? And I was like, they pulled out a Ouija board, and she was like, I'm on my way. And so she turned around, and they were like, Mackenzie, you can come back in. We won't do it until you leave. And I was like, I am never setting foot in that house again, ever. And I never did.
Yeah.
And like.
And the other kids stayed?
They stayed. They were like, oh, Ouija board. Like, oh my
Wait,
god.
how old were you at this point?
This was like,
Middle
I think it
school.
was like 7th or 8th grade.
You weren't at all like intrigued by the Ouija
Fuck
board?
no.
Who would be
Really?
intrigued
No.
by that? Oh, let me just invite the ghost in.
Yeah.
What?
Saying if she would
Hell
have realized
no.
I
the
mean,
guys
I
that were going
had
to
seen
sneak
a
in the
ghost
window
at
later.
this point.
I don't know.
Remember?
When I first played it. Oh yeah. Okay. If you've
You
seen
messed
the
with
ghost.
a Ouija board?
Yeah.
I
was
last
around the same
Halloween
age, though.
I used a Ouija board with an acquaintance of mine, and it didn't really result in anything spooky. The ghost. We kept asking questions of the ghost, and it kept giving nonsensical answers. So it kind of leads
They
me
weren't
to
playing right.
question.
They weren't
the,
playing right.
The Ouija
So-
board, you had your hands on you,
Yep.
Yeah.
and it kept moving
You're supposed to
without you guys
spell it
moving
out.
it.
Yes.
The message
That's
kept
what it
saying,
feels
touch me
like, yeah.
here.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing about Ouija boards. The thing about Ouija boards. Here's my favorite analogy to using a Ouija board. It's basically like taking a phone book, opening it up randomly, taking your finger, putting it down randomly, and whatever person you just touched, you're going to have an intimate relationship with that.
Really?
That's what a Ouija board is.
See,
And when the
I'm not
Ouija board
prepared
gets
for that
wet,
shit.
you win.
So good luck. Maybe you'll choose a good ghost. Maybe you'll choose a terrible one.
And you know
I'm
what?
not even sure I had a ghost on the other line.
Or you'll get a, less than responsive.
All the ghosts were busy.
Yeah, or,
Please
you know,
hold
one that
for
was just
next available
And
ghost.
you know what ghosts don't like? Ghosts don't like being forcibly taken out of the afterlife to talk to some kids.
Yeah. See, and
what if
especially
they're
in a
already
room
there?
full of dolls and their heads move and they move. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna mess with that
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, you were wise.
Yeah. I was a smart kid. There's no way. I was not gonna go in there.
But you might even have a better ghost story if you had stayed.
I don't care. I don't need a better ghost story. I'm content with my one.
The other kids weren't afraid?
Yeah.
I don't know. They were fucking weird. I don't. All I knew is the second she said Ouija board and she turned around to go get it, I didn't even see it. I wouldn't even
friends
look
the
at
next
it.
day is like, well, I remember we were doing the Ouija board, and then I blacked out, and I woke up in the morning and my butt hurt.
I said something so mean to. I was like, listen, if you guys don't.
salve.
Yep, that sounds like middle school.
I was like, if you guys don't show up to school on Monday, I'm not even gonna feel bad for you, and like walked out. And,
There you
like,
go.
I
There you
was
go.
so.
So you never even hung out with those people anymore?
Oh, I did kind of.
To
Not
be
really.
fair,
But
it was their fault for calling it ghost if they didn't show up. So
no, that was. Oh my god. No. I had one friend that's 2 years ago on Halloween. He was like, hey, my friend has a Ouija board, and she said I could borrow it. And me and my other two friends were like, hell no. No, we wouldn't even let him go to Halloween that year. He was like, I'm not going to bring it. And we're like, you know what? We're just not going to take the risk. You can stay home.
Well, surprise, surprise, because it just so happens I have a Ouija board right here under this table.
Oh, shut up.
Right now.
No.
Mom, come and get me
Come and get me.
right now.
We can confirm all the assumptions we've been
but I'm
making
in
about
love,
ghosts now.
There we are. Gonna ask for clarification.
But in the list, when we Ouija board, one of the rules is you can't use hands, elbows, arms, feet, legs. It's got to be somewhere between your neck and your hips.
The Ouija
And
board
we all
just
have to
equals
touch
sex
it at
to you,
the
Daniel.
same time.
Oh my god. No, see, I won't mess with that. Or
Did I say
Buddha
Ouija?
stuff.
I'm sorry.
Stuff. Have
The
you
Ouija
run
part
into
is
I think I
like,
meant orgy board.
yeah, the Ouija board sounds more like it, yeah.
like
Kind of.
where did you live? New Orleans swamps or something?
No. No, but one of my friends, this was in like elementary school, right? And I have lots of weird
Yeah,
paranormal
it's like
stuff
when
I
you're
know.
super young too.
But one of my friends moved from New Orleans. Well, she moved from New Orleans to Texas, and she was going
There
to
it
my
is.
school. And she was like, "Hey, do you want to come over?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And she had these 2 pet tarantulas, which freaked the shit out of me because I don't like spiders at all.
Same.
Like at all. And so I was already freaked out. And then she started talking about like what are the little dolls?
The voodoo,
Voodoo dolls?
Yeah, that would be it. And so she like started talking about voodoo dolls, and like her mom made voodoo dolls, and I was like, what?
Oh,
And like
voodoo.
this, I was really young. I was in 2nd grade, and so I didn't really understand exactly. And I was like, what? And then they started. Her mom had like these like little bone fragments, and they did like the bone casting.
Yeah.
You know, like where they could do that.
It was a full-on voodoo house.
It was a voodoo house, and like
That's
it
crazy.
scared the and I was kind of like,
Throw the
There's something
bones and
about
tell the
this-
story.
yeah, but like she didn't
I
actually.
mean, it's a full-on religion.
Yeah, and
It
so
just
someone
dips really
and, like,
deeply into mysticism.
people would come to her house,
Yeah.
and like they'd pay her to do stuff like
Totally.
this. And so while I was there,
Totally.
someone came in like for the bone casting.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I
They
was
can
just
foresee the
like-
future depending on. I mean, it's not any different from,
Like a fortune teller.
any fortune
I've gone
teller.
to psychics
They would
before.
stick pins in they stick pins.
The voodoo dolls
not the
are,
psychic I went to.
They
the-
do that to the voodoo dolls.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
that's
voodoo
Maybe
dolls
they
are
don't like.
Yeah.
Why stick a pin in and give me a voodoo doll of somebody I like, and I'll just rub it in all the right places.
Exactly,
God.
exactly. She'd be like, "Why do I smell butt all the time?"
Oh, but yeah, it was a freak. But she was so nice, and her mom was so nice, and like they were really cool. I'm glad I never got on their dark side.
Yeah, they probably had a voodoo doll of you hidden away.
Just
Just in
ready,
case.
just
Ready.
in case.
Yeah.
In case she pisses me
Yeah.
off one more
That's
time.
right. That's right.
What are
She
the
talked
rules
back.
for a voodoo doll? Can you make like a
Don't you need like
a-
some clothing
You
belonging
have to
to
have
the
like I
person?
thought it was hair.
Or hair?
It's a
even
few
I know you
things,
put-
yeah.
yeah, I know
It's
you
use
need
of clothing,
hair.
some hair.
I think
I
you
know
need
nothing
some blood
about
drops.
If you get some
don't you?
blood, that's like big
That's
pater.
some, yeah.
Could you
Yeah.
like make a ventriloquist dummy as a voodoo, like a voodoo ventriloquist dummy?
Now that's
no,
a party.
It has to be a certain
It
thing.
has to be a thing. It has to be that little tiny
Yeah.
weird stick thing.
Yeah.
All right.
What are you?
That's not fun.
Are you thinking of like controlling somebody when they
And then
say?
you cover it in Vaseline
Every
and go to
move.
town.
Oh, it feels like I've got an arm in the back of me opening my mouth.
There's a movie there somewhere.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
For a podcast.
No, not sure exactly where, but
I like that
Yeah,
idea.
did you see Being John Malkovich? Ever see that movie?
No.
Where they would
Oh,
take
yeah.
control over the guy. And they take turns taking control over.
That's messed up.
And it was through a little door in the back of this attic. And you opened the little door, and it was a crawl space, and you crawled through it. And when you crawled through it, you came out the other end, and you were in John Malkovich's mind.
Yeah, you go
And
through his
got to take
chute.
him over and control him.
Yeah.
You ever saw that? And then when you would
How
die,
did you get out, though? I forget.
you would die, they dumped you onto the Jersey
But
Turnpike.
was there another door or whatever? Yeah.
It was a time.
When,
It was a
when you
timing.
left, you just landed on this exit on the Jersey Turnpike.
in like a
in the
gully.
grass.
And then they come and get you, and you'd become with shit. But then, with the guy figured out a way how we could stay inside John Malkovich, but then eventually they flushed him out and everyone died. It was good. It was a good movie.
And then everyone died. It was great.
Spoiler alert.
Spoilers.
But you guys see it?
If you haven't seen
Did
it.
John die?
No, he's still.
Oh, no. He just, every once in a while, woke up going, what the fuck? Why did I do that shit?
They changed like the direction of his career. They started making him do other stuff. It was it was a really ventriloquist
Yeah,
dummy.
I've heard good things about that movie.
I hate that.
I'll share my own ghost stories. I've never seen a ghost, so I can't claim that much, I must confess. But I was very into the supernatural and the paranormal when I was a younger lad. And for one of my birthdays, my family took me to the Queen Mary in Long Beach, which has quite a reputation
That's
for
definitely haunted.
being a ghost ship. We were talking about ghost ships. And in the showers by the pool area, supposedly there's a vortex there, a portal to another realm, if you will. And supposedly some people are more sensitive to this paranormal energy than others, and my mother actually vomited after visiting the showers on the Queen Mary. And later on, we were down in another part of the ship, the infirmary. And I don't think we were supposed to be there. No one else was there. I think it was closed off. But there was nobody else there except for us. And we smelled cigar smoke. Ooh. Very distinctly.
Ghost of Frank Sinatra, right?
Janitor.
Taking its ghost vacation.
That's right. Even ghosts.
Well,
need
back in the day
vacations.
when it was in service, it would be typical for people to smoke cigars. You know, people smoke cigars and cigarettes everywhere back then.
That was the thing.
Yeah.
They were like, it's okay.
But a ghost cigar
it's
has
like
that
a-
smoke that crosses our realm and the ethereal, and you can just like jump right in there, and you're over there with them, and they never
It could have
ever
been,
saw
Just
him
go to
again.
the ghost. Hey, can I bump one?
it could have just been bad food made her throw up too. I mean, you could have fish. You get fish on a boat. It's
Maybe
terrible.
so.
See, but that's the thing about ghosts.
Also
It's
known
like-
as a food ghost.
That's the thing about ghosts, though, is you can totally come up with explanations, but at some point you're like, okay,
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
yeah. I'm
Is
here. I'm here to
this
be. I'm here to
strange?
testify.
yeah, exactly.
Your
You're
story.
preaching to the choir over here.
You can come up with as many. Oh, it's just the wind.
2.5 years
you're
worth of coming up with rational explanations for the unexplainable.
Like,
Oh, that's because of this.
Yeah.
Oh, the picture frame fell off the wall again. Well, you know how
all the
it is.
pictures are down. It must.
I never did hang that bitch up, right?
Must have been windy again last night.
All of them.
But like you always have to say like, what if or else you're dead?
Yeah.
You're the dead person in the movie.
That 6-year-old kid's eyes are glowing red. Well, you're looking through the camera again, you idiot.
I saw this video just the other day of this girl, and she was trying to scare her roommate, so she dressed up as the clown from It. I don't remember his name.
Pennywise.
Pennywise. That's right. So she dressed up as Pennywise, and the girl was just
hate
coming
creepy
home
clowns.
from watching It. And so she comes in, and there's just a red balloon like on the chair, and like she has a camera set up, but she's like hiding in her room. And the girl walks in, and she's like on the phone, and she just stops talking and looks at the balloon, and she goes, "Oh hell no!" And she just turns around and leaves.
Yeah,
and, like,
nice.
and I'm like,
Oh hell no!
"That's smart."
I'm not going to be part of this.
And I was like, "See, she would survive."
Yeah, she would. But that sucks for the roommate. Got all dressed up and didn't get to do anything.
Oh fuck her!
Yeah, you know what? That's the sort of thing that could lead to like years of therapy or needing
you scare the shit out of
antipsychotic
somebody.
medication or something.
Yeah, no, I
You
saw,
know?
I saw another one where the exact same scenario happened, except the girl like walked into her room and she jumped out and she freaked the fuck out and she went over to her nightstand and got a taser and almost tased her
damn.
roommate.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And she's like, "Are you fucking kidding
Yeah,
me?" Like,
seriously. No, I watched a GIF just today. This guy comes out of
was
a
that, by the
can.
way?
It comes out of this
kinda wanna
can.
see
That's a ghostly image file.
It's
No, I said how was
what's that?
it? The GIF, the movie?
No. This
Oh,
is
GIF. Oh.
Yeah. This is just a little clip right
I forgot that was a
online. And it's this guy comes out of a trash can, scares these two guys, and one
I've
of the
seen
two
this.
guys that he scares, in just 1 second, bam,
Oh,
just
yeah, I think I've
knocks
seen
the,
that. I was gonna like-
yeah, and just it was amazing. And
I
it's
think
like
that
that's
Bushman in San Francisco would get his ass kicked more, actually.
you know.
Now that you mention that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure
Someone
that
who makes his whole
like
career
I was
doing that.
I was certain while the whole clown thing was happening, part of me was kind of like, yeah, I pray that no clown ever tries that shit with me because I will punch that man and not stop
Like,
until I
you
see a
know-
little blood.
you know how everyone
Like the
has
snowman that used to jump out.
Oh, that's great.
I mean, it's fight or flight, and for me, with clowns, I'm fighting.
I was just gonna say, it's like everyone
Ain't
has
afraid of no
like
clown.
the
You
fight
put this
or
shit
flight.
on, you deserve this.
Yeah, everyone has that fight or flight,
I'm with you on
and
that.
it's so funny because I found out that I have the fight.
Yeah.
And that's because my brothers and I used to scare each other. We lived in this like 3-bedroom like town or 3-4 townhouse, and on the middle floor was where me and one of my brothers stayed, and then my mom and my other brothers were on the top floor, and then the bottom floor was like the kitchen and the living room. And so like anytime someone would open the door, the whole house was made out of marble, so you could hear everything. And so you'd hear a door open, and you're like, and so they'd go downstairs for water, and someone would hide behind the stairs, and then you'd be coming up, and they'd jump out, and mostly people would scream, and it was really funny. But one time my brother did it to me, and he jumped out and scared me, and I had the water, and I splashed it in his face, and then threw the cup at him, like just off of it, and he was like, "What the hell?" And I was like, you know what? Shouldn't be jumping out at people at 3 a.m. Like,
When it's the clown, just remember, don't step on the big shoes. It doesn't hurt. They just squeak.
Siblings are like the worst with that. Me and my brother would scare each other all the time. Like my brother would hide behind the door, so when I opened the door to go in my room, they'd come back and then close the door. He would grab my shoulder. But I did the worst one to my brother. I would hide. So we shared a bed, and our beds are like here's my bed and here's his bed. I would hide under my bed, wait until he walks by, and grab his ankle with my arm. And he'd get so scared every time. Oh, those were
How many
great
times did you do it? I mean, did you have the
I don't know, like
spare
a
time?
couple
You'd hang?
times. It was
My
like
brother
the
was
classic.
7 years older than me, and there's this movie called Trilogy of Terror. It's 3 stories, and at the end, there's this little rubber African doll that chops up this woman and then possesses her and all this stuff.
Pretty standard. Yeah.
And
you know.
and
as one
so
does.
my brother's 7 years older than me, so I'm like 6 years old, 5 years old, whatever. And he takes this stuffed animal, creature, whatever, doll from the house, and he puts a washer on its nose. And he sits it on this shelf in the closet, and he says, if that washer ever falls off of that doll, he becomes the doll in that movie.
Oh my
And that
god.
pissed me off for like months, man, until one day I just took that frickin' thing and threw it in a fire.
Not risking that.
You're dead.
Better
hate
safe
it.
than sorry.
I hate it in horror movies when the thing doesn't burn. When they put it in a fire and I just got finished watching The Babadook.
Oh, yeah.
Horrible movie.
Oh my god, the part where they're in the car and the kids.
Oh my god! Yeah. Oh my god! I hate that movie. The book is what scared me. It's the damn illustrations in that book. They were so horrible. You should watch it, Blake.
I haven't seen it, but I have heard very good things.
I've never heard of it.
It's really scary.
It's a,
Oh, you got
oh my god,
never even
it's
heard of it.
really
How old is
scary.
it?
It's
It's
like
recent.
a year or
Not
two,
old.
Yeah.
maybe
It's like
3
pretty
maximum.
recent.
Oh, okay.
But
3
it's
years, I
like it
think.
got credited for being one of the more scary movies.
It's pretty freaky.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not gonna spoil it, but the end is odd.
Yeah, I didn't understand
That's
it
all
at
I'm
first,
saying.
and then my brother explained it to me.
I've heard the. I still
All right, you bunch of losers, Babadook stuff, whatnot. We've hit the 60-minute mark.
Dang.
That was abrupt.
Time to go around
Time
the
flies.
turn. That's right.
Who was in
Let's
it?
see. Now, of people that called other people and didn't call on other people and bluffs and all that, we achieved 1 point. And that was when somebody called on Rod, and it wasn't on his list.
That was me.
That was Eric.
I lost the point.
Okay, so let's go around. You don't lose a point. Rod gets a point.
Oh, all right, Rod gets it.
Okay, Rod, only tell me the ones that you used.
I used gamma rays.
Gamma rays.
Nice.
How do you catch a ghost?
How do you catch a ghost?
Scary children.
Scary children.
That's it.
Jack, what do you got?
I did fortune teller, and I didn't say Ouija board, but somebody else did.
Oh!
Many
Jack
times.
had Ouija board and somebody else brought it in. Well, all you had to do then was jump in. Doesn't matter. Okay.
Well, I said so. Each time someone says it, I get like $50, right?
Yeah, Monopoly money.
So just those two.
I knew there was a reason why we were saying that.
Mackenzie.
I used casting bones, gaping wounds, and ghost hunting gear. And then I'm not sure if this, because I tried to bring it up, but it didn't really come up. Can I say it just in case? So maybe it counts as a.
Go ahead.
Was the Ichabod Crane from.
She did bring up Sleepy Hollow.
Hollow.
So I don't know if that counts.
Actually, I should have said no, don't bring it up. But I'm not going to reuse Ichabod Crane.
Okay. So does that not count?
Well, you don't get a point if you used it and nobody called you on it or anything. Actually, that should be a change in the future, huh? Okay, I'll add that up later.
Yeah.
Dean.
Well, sadly, I didn't use any.
Zero.
I got way too
Got the
into
big bupkis.
talking about ghosts.
Right on.
So,
Blake.
All right, I got Beetlejuice, which I didn't even bring up. Somebody else brought it up, but I chimed in. And then demonic possession.
All right. And Eric.
Well, Daniel, I got voodoo,
Nice.
which was a pretty prevalent topic, thanks to someone else. I got gypsies, and I got crawl space.
He said
Nice.
something about
He
He brought
I
up.
know
Crawl space.
I know I worked in
I
a
wanted the crawl
conversation.
space to go off on a deep
Sorry.
tangent, too, because a lot of things happen in crawl spaces.
Yeah, crawl space and
What you
gypsies
did
kind
you
of didn't really
What
go
you
on
did you
tangents.
Slipped
but-
it right
Okay.
in. That's good.
All right, that's another successful episode of The List. We're going to close this bad dude down. And all that, thank you guys all for being here. And let's keep it going.
Chimichangas.
This has been another episode of The List brought to you by Vision.
what you see is what you smell.
You guys are so welcome for that, by the way.
The List is a conversational improv game. Each of our panel members has a list of topics and or phrases that were drawn from a hat. Their goal is to sneak those topics or phrases into the conversation. Another member of the panel, hearing thus, can say, "That's on your list." And if they're right, they get a point. You can bluff, or if they're wrong, you get a point. To become part of the List community, go to patreon.com/listgame. To contact any of us with your comments or questions, email listgame@cox.net, COX.